I am going to discuss the past strategy for the subject Maths S4 Maths for Information Science. So the previously what I shared was got some mistakes in the topics. So I am doing it again. First we can see the excluded proofs. From module 2 it excludes the proofs of theorem 2.5 Euler graph properties 2 and 2.7 connectedness. From module 3 the proofs which are excluded are theorem 3.10 centers in a tree and 3.16 spanning trees. Then from module 4, the excluded proofs are theorem 4.5, 4.6, 4.11, 4.12, 7.4, 7.7, 7.8. Now we can see the module by module plan. So first priority is for module 3. So coming to the questions, learn the step-by-step tracing for Prim's, Kruskal's and Dijistra's algorithms. Then the theory questions from this are properties of trees, difference between rooted and binary trees, formula for maximum vertices or height in a binary tree. Then second priority is for module 4. From this, learn how to convert a drawn graph into an adjacency matrix, incidence matrix, circuit matrix, and path matrix. Then theory to learn from this is definitions of cut set, vertex connectivity, and edge connectivity. Third priority is for module 1. From this, you had to memorize the definitions: isomorphism, null graph, pendant vertex, isolated vertex, walk versus path versus circuit. And the must-do proof from this is the handshaking lemma. Prove that the sum of the degrees of all vertices is twice the number of edges. Then learn how to prove two graphs are isomorphic. Priority 4 is for the module 2. From this, understand the difference between an Euler graph and a Hamiltonian graph. Then the other topics are traveling salesman's problem, then types of directed graphs. Then you can solve only these specific types of questions from the old previous year question papers. So these are the questions. Some 7 questions are listed here. You have to solve this. Then this can be your study order. First, you master Prim's, Kruskal's, and Dijistra's. Then learn to draw adjacency, incidence, circuit, path matrices from module 4. Then memorize the definitions and the handshaking lemma, module 1. Then understand Euler versus Hamiltonian conditions. Thank you.